Good evening. We're going to be making some special food. It's called risotto. Some people believe it's difficult. I tried it out and it wasn't too bad, so I'm going to make a habanero version. So there's my habaneros, the star of the show. But we have some olive oil, some Chardonnay, some butter, chicken stock and water, habaneros, the arborio rice, mushrooms, onions, some seasonings, and a pan. So I'm going to dice up the onions and we'll get started here. Alright, so we diced up about a teaspoon of fresh habanero, which is good. We're going to be using half a cup of some baby bella mushrooms, which are delicious. We need about a half a cup of your diced onions. It's going to be 1 cup of the rice. I did 2 cups of stock and a half a cup of water. Probably do a 1/4 teaspoon of each of these, which will be warming up with the stock. You're going to be using about 2 ounces of wine, and there's 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to do about a tablespoon of butter, and yep, so we're going to put the onions here in a sec. Alright, so now that we got the onions simmering for about 5 or 6 minutes so they soften up, threw in the habanero to get those juices flowing. We got our wine measured up, we got our rice, which goes in next. The mushrooms, which just goes in about halfway through the end, and I forgot all about the Parmesan cheese. You're going to want about a 1/4 cup fine grate, or grate I should say, and then a 1/4 cup of larger grated, or you can just do all fine, either way, but that's going to be for the last things. And then I also got the chicken broth warming up with the spices. So, alright. Alright, now we got to the 5-minute mark, so we're going to throw in our rice. You need to fry the rice, essentially, or get it really coated. You want it coated, and you're going to be just stirring probably for the next 30 minutes. That's the downside of this dish, but it's worth it. So I'm just going to keep moving this stuff around for about 3 or 4 minutes here. Then I'm going to add the wine for about 3 or 4 more minutes in a second. And wait till that's absorbed, and we start working on the chicken broth. Alright, so now we see that the wine's been absorbed. It's all about adding some, waiting, adding some, waiting. So now we're going to do about a half a cup of warm broth. And you're just going to stir it and stir it and stir it. It takes about 5 minutes, maybe 6, and then we're going to repeat that about 4 more times. Once you put in the second scoop, you're going to put in the mushrooms, and they'll remain in there for the rest of the time. And so just get to stirring. Alright, another 4 or 5 ounces, and this time the mushrooms are going in. And keep stirring. Alright, next wave of juice. About 1/4 of it left or so. What I'm going to be serving with this is actually going to be a few shrimp, although I'm eating by myself tonight. So I'm going to try to sear up some shrimp in a couple of minutes, and yeah, we're getting close. Alright, I got my butter and oil. My butter's browned. I'm going to put the rest of the juice in here. As soon as you hear it's frying, it's pretty much time to add more. That's pretty much how it's been going. I'm going to put my 9 shrimp in the oil. It's about a minute aside, something like that. It doesn't take very long. Just get them each pink and you're good to go. Alright, stirring it up. Alright, well here's the finished product. I did look over the recipe, and I think I put in 1 extra tablespoon of oil, and I didn't need to do that because I did a tablespoon of butter, which I did want, so that would have been the only thing I'd change. That's about what it looks like. It's supposed to be sort of like a stew, something like that. And I got my seared shrimp. They look delicious. I'm going to plate that up. Well, here's the final product. I forgot to say that I put some of the Parmesan at the end. But then you throw it around on the top, put your shrimp on, or you can serve it on the side. This is actually enough for 2 people, if you had a green or something on the side. But yeah, there we go. Some risotto with some fried shrimp. Delish.